Begin.
We live?
We are.
Excellent. Welcome everybody to the Boys from the Baltic Star, a Thursday night special. This is our second attempt to have a go at those dark places. Our second episode. The story so far, we have actually let's do some introductions first. I think introductions are the way to go. Regular viewers will recognise Ewan. And Luke. Luke and Ewan are normally my players that I put through the ringer. But tonight it's Luke's turn to torture us. So I'm sure he's very much looking forward to that. In this quite gritty science fiction kind of world. We also have a special guest visitor in the form of Gilly. Good evening, Gilly.
Hello, guys.
Very nice to have you with us.
Thank you. It's nice to be here again.
yes. Nice in quotes, I assume.
Oh, have some faith in yourself, Ben. Have some faith.
Everything we say is in quotes, Ben.
My name's Ben. I occasionally go by Bucky as well, but mainly Ben. And welcome to our stream. We stream every Thursday and Friday, typically. Thursdays we do a sort of random scattergun selection of stuff, and on Fridays we stream our regular traveller adventure of the Boys from the Baltic Star, giving the stream its name. And actually we've got some news at the end. If you stick around to the end, we've got some news about an upcoming Thursday theme. So if you haven't heard about it yet, we'll fill you in later. So, those dark places. It is a very gritty game that relies on roles of terror and pressure and horror. And Luke has been very gently introducing us to it, very gently introducing us to our doom, just leading us onwards. The story so far, we cheerfully joined up with was it Maitland Corporation that runs the this particular transport line, because none of the burger joints were hiring, and we were just that desperate for work. And they put us in deep sleep to send us off to the other side of the galaxy. Only we were pulled out of it a little bit early when something collided with our ship, which led to a great deal of panic and chaos and running around and screaming. And two of us have become so panicked they've actually left the ship altogether and have gone looking around to see if there's a better ship outside, while I've crawled into a vent for safekeeping. And that's pretty much where we pick the story up. Well, technically there is one other thing that for traditional reasons I now do have to put into chat.
I hope there's not too many clonkings on the ship tonight. not yet, at least. We'll see.
Have you got a good feeling about something, Ben, or not? Is there a plan to feel good about? I don't know.
I just have a horrible feeling that this may not be the time to feel good about our plans.
Yeah. save it till the end.
We're definitely starting with Plan Evan. In fact, Misha is fulfilling Plan Evan, which is, thank you, Ben. That's a lovely introduction. I shall throw a little meat on the bones, and then I shall
feel free.
We'll decide who we're going to start with, as we've split the party. Oh, you're all within about 5 meters of each other, but you're all very split. You're literally universes away at some point. So, indeed, Liam, Shay, and Misha all signed up to Maitland. They joined the ship, the Nakuru. They were ferried over there and met the 3 other crew: Eddie, Clarkson, Carla Munro, and Evan. Evan being, for want of a finer word, an android. They're hired by Maitland Corporation to sort of do the donkey work, I guess. He would be the one that stays awake when everyone else goes into long sleep. He's got enough skills to run a ship and to converse somewhat. Very much a company man, as it were. Eddie, we've learned, is a bit of a coward when it comes to going out of the ship, and flat out refused to go out when needed. Carla seems to have her head together and seem to bond quite well with Shay, both being sort of Shay being the main helmswoman and Carla being the navigator. You're getting on quite well, Shay, I feel.
Yeah, I think so. She likes my stilts, so
Mm.
Who doesn't
Yes.
like the stilts?
Yeah, I think we were all very impressed with the stilts.
Even Eddie's been eyeing them up. And, you know, but he doesn't want anyone to know that. He's a bit too macho for that. But so the mission you were tasked with originally was to go to Gliese 667, a triple star system, as a supply and recycle run. You were stocked high with supplies, so the back of the ship, the cargo bay is rammed full. The corridor next to the cargo bay is piled full along one wall. And the idea was that you were going to resupply the expedition there, unload all those, and then come back with all empty boxes and so on to recycle and bring back. However, halfway through that trip, you were indeed woken by Evan, who stays awake during long sleep. You awoke in different ways. You all awoke with like a sleep hangover. Liam woke okay. Shay wet herself, which is it happens to 1 in 6 people. Let's put it that way. And Misha awoke to see the loving eyes of Evan gazing longingly down through the glass, starting a friendship, which I feel is truly blossoming.
How many people does that happen to, Luke?
Just
the special ones.
just the ones he likes the most.
Yeah. Okay. I won't take it personally.
So at this point, they all rushed to the front of ship, where they found out what was going on, and it turns out that the comms and the navigation in the ship is dead. They're orbiting a vast dark planet, which has been stripped of all materials by intense mining. Very ominous place. A dead place, just a very unpleasant part of space. The comms inside the ship must be used to make contact with Maitland, let them know what's going on, but they're dead. The navigation inside the ship must be rewired and fixed, which is what Munro will be doing. That's her job. We already know Clarkson has refused to take part in the spacewalk. He claims it's egg work, i.e. people that haven't seen any service yet, i.e. you three. But Monroe has indeed told you that he's scared of spacewalks and tends to hyperventilate. So it was decided that Liam and Shay, brave two, would indeed go out into space to look at the comms and navigations units outside the ship and fix them. They've gone out with a fix pack with a screwdriver, drill, a variable power handheld laser torch, so they can get anything they need done there. And they currently are. Liam, being a bit clumsy but strong, almost fell off into space immediately. Managed to gather himself and is following the clip-on pipes around the bottom of the ship. Shay, a bit more agile and, let's face it, just more skilled generally, almost like vaulted up onto the top of the ship and is moving her way along the top very acrobatically at the minute without too many problems. Misha, as a engineering man, the main engineer on the ship, it was decided that he should go into the conduits, the main one, as we can see on the map to the south, because something's blown in there, and he needs to go in there and sort of check it out, work out what it is, and try and fix it. Because without that, the comms won't work. He needs to be in there. He needs to work it out. The way in was through Evan unscrewing a panel and letting him in, and then deciding to screw it up again for safety. Whereupon Misha had a little moment and is feeling the pressure. His pressure's gone up. He's feeling stressed. He's looking for it, hasn't found the problem yet, and he's crawling deeper and deeper into the dark conduit. Now, this may sound like the most terrifying thing, with an android out there sort of whispering to him that he hopes he's doing well. You're doing great. You're doing great. You're doing great. You know, but more so, as we left last week, Shay and Liam, as they were moving around, suddenly heard a call of warning from the bridge as a load of razor-sharp metallic debris is coming in quickly to hit the ship again. And they are all but meat sacks in pierceable cloth at the end of the day. And this is where I feel we'll begin. On the outside of the ship, with one dangling from the top, one dangling from the bottom, and a load of nasty metal flying in towards the ship. Shay, good evening. Well, welcome back to
Hello.
this this very safe space outside the ship. What would you like to do?
Right. Have I noticed this metal coming towards me? Is any coming straight for me? Do I need to move?
So when the shout went out, you looked up,
Hmm.
and it's too hard to tell. It's still, you know how space works. Space is big, and speeds can be big. So the metal's still a few kilometers away. So
Oh, right. Okay.
sparkling specs, but it's moving quickly. It'll be on you in seconds. Um, the top of the ship and the bottom, you have the pipes going across that you're clipping yourself into. There are nooks and
Yeah.
crannies. There are corners. You're about halfway across the top of the ship. You won't make it down the side at this time before it hits.
Okay. How far can I make it then if I keep carrying on clipping?
I reckon if you keep moving at your speed, we can make some rolls to see how far across you get, and I can keep you
Okay.
up to date with how close it is, and you can make a call on that when you want
Okay. Right. Okay.
to. Ewan, do you want to do a similar thing, or are you gonna? Because then I can roll you both at once, or you got another plan to avoid the stuff. You are under the bottom of the ship, which is much more industrial and bulgy and.
Okay. I will head to the nearest what could be considered cover. Is there anything, sticking out or
Yeah, so
something I could get behind?
the back of the ship, for people that can see at the bottom of the screen, the Nakuru, we've got it side on. It's small. I apologise, but that's those sort of little rectangles at the back. That is all the big engines, and from there you've got big pipes coming up, sort of being fed into the rest of the ship, and there are definitely places you can hide between the big pipes, which will get you out of most of the problem, if that makes sense. So there's definitely
Yeah.
spaces. Yeah, you're in a better space. Let's put it that way at the moment. If you're trying to cover.
I will attempt to find some cover and get to the cover, I guess.
Okie dokie. What I'm going to do is I'm going to work this almost like a combat for you guys. So you'll get a decision every sort of every turn, and then I'll move the shards closer, if that makes sense. It's a 5-second
Okay.
combat round here. So let's start with Shay. Shay, you want to move, yeah?
Yeah.
We're going to have to say it's 2-meter speed. That's a crawling speed.
Okay.
And I know you're not going against any friction, but you know you're floating around, so it's not the easiest. So if you could, so you're halfway. The first one, you're 12 meters. You've got about 12 meters to go. So you can go
Okay.
2 meters. Could you roll me a agility roll? So you need to add your agility to your dice roll
Yeah.
and tell me your score, please.
It's a 6.
6 on the roll. What's 6
No,
in
I
total?
got a 2 on the roll.
Oh, I thought these new dice of yours were starting hot.
No.
Well, yeah,
Start as they
very
mean
much
to go on, I think.
Oh no. Oh, no. Unfortunately, as you're sort of scrabbling, you turn back from the metal a little bit slow, and you start scrabbling at it, trying to unclip your clip to move on to the next bit, and you've only made it about a meter. You've not made it as far as you could do. So cool. And the metal's still a way away, so you probably don't have to make that call yet. But yes, so you're 13 meters across.
Okay.
And it's 23 meters all the way. Ewan, are you going to just look for the biggest hidey hole?
Yeah. Well, the smallest hidey hole that I can fit in, if that makes sense.
That does.
I want it to be a little bit claustrophobic.
That does make sense. Okay. We all have a bit of claustrophobia.
More cover.
Definitely. Could you make an education roll? Because I want you to see if you can pick the best space, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, I certainly can. That is a 4 plus 4. It's an 8.
Oh, nice. And an 8 in this game is in a standard check, which we've been doing, is a success. A 7 would be a partial, an 8 is a full success. So well done. You sort of quickly look around and you do find somewhere that's probably about a foot, including your suit, is probably about a foot longer than you are and probably about a foot wider than you are. That seems, and it's deep enough that most of you would be inside it. You know, if you'd scrimped on a few meals, you'd have totally got inside. But you know,
Yeah. Okay.
it's what it is.
Cool.
Okay, so that's what you can do in your 5 seconds is like look for that thing.
Yeah. Okay.
So what Gilly can see and what Ewan is sort of blocked off a little bit from is indeed the metal is still shooting towards you. It's so hard to judge distances, but it's not on you yet. Shay, what would you like to do?
Okay, I should probably look for cover, shouldn't I?
I think it
Is
may
there
be.
any cover up ahead near where I want to go?
Can you roll an education check on me, please?
Another 2. That's 4.
Okie dokie. That one was an easier check, so a 6 would have been, because you're on the nicer side of the ship, I guess, really. It's much more visible. Right near you, there's nothing good. There looks like there's something that looks a bit in shadow a few meters away, but
Okay.
you can't be definite. That looks like the best bet. There's smaller bumps near you, but you'd only be half covered at best.
Okay. Should probably head to that if that looks the best option.
Yeah, as you were sort of much more it's much flatter up there, so it's easy for you to see. You didn't have to look around so much, unlike Liam, so you can make a movement roll as well.
Okay. Another 2.
Oh no!
Oh,
What is it with these
Oh
dice?
man!
consistent.
The 6.
Okay, and you are still 2 meters away from that shadowy area. It's looking relatively promising. It's definitely better than being out where you are right now.
Yep. Okay.
Yep.
I'll head there if I
Okay.
can.
Cool. Liam, you found what you want. You going in? You looking for something else? What are you thinking?
Yeah. No, I'm gonna make my way there.
Okay, I want you to make a. You're going to need to make a strength roll to get there this turn, and then you'll need agility to fit yourself in, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
can you make a strength roll, please?
Oh, it's a 1 plus 3. It's a 4.
It's a 4. Okay, you've dragged yourself over to the edge. If you're rolling agility to get in, you're going to need to roll it at a minus. It's going to be a harder check because you've still got a little bit of ground to make, if that makes sense. You're going to be rushing it a bit unless you chance it and hope that the metal's not going to be on you so quickly. But yeah. So the metal now, you can see it. You can see that. You can see individual bits now. It's not just sort of that glinting. You can see that the largest bits are looking very big, but you can immediately tell those are missing the ship, which is good because 10-meter shards of metal is not great. What there does seem to be is maybe a dozen pieces ranging from a couple of meters down to sort of hand-sized shards. They look risky for both of you. You can't be certain, but those are what you're worried about. And hard to tell, maybe 5, maybe 10 seconds away still. Shay.
Okay, I'm going to try and get to this shadowy place.
The shadowy
and take
place.
cover.
Okay, let's have an agility for your movement.
Oh, okay. That's an 8. I got 4 that time.
Oh, it's
Much
just
better.
warming up. Excellent.
Nice.
So you manage to you unhook, pull it over to the next, hook yourself over, and you're right next to it, and you see that if you can get in it and flat, depending on the angle of the metal, from some angles you will be safe. Others 70-30, let's put it that way, but it's definitely the best thing around. So you're right next to it. It took you your whole turn to get there, so it's your decision whether you could go in next or not. But over to Liam. Who are you climbing in? Are you going to try and get closer?
I will try and get closer.
Okay, give me strength. You're using your strength around the bottom. I think we talked about
Give
last
me
week.
strength.
Give me
Yeah,
strength.
like
Yeah. He's much less
pulling myself
graceful.
along.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's 2 + 3 is 5.
Okay. Luckily, you were only a meter away, and that's all you were able to move. But you are right next to it now.
Okay.
So you're right alongside it. Looks good. Looks like a lovely little cubby. You can make a nice home there. So,
I didn't go for the showy space dive into it from a distance. That could have ended
the
poorly.
roll.
Yeah.
You dive in and just float out the back of the ship. Right. Let me just check something. I'm going to have to actually do a roll now. It is on you. You've got this is your one chance here. It is your turn. You've got so I know you're both going for the hole.
Okay.
And depending on this and some angles, we will be making some worrying things, depending on how you do. So, not what to put you on edge. Shay.
Yeah. Thank goodness I've already wet myself this morning. Right.
Oh, it's not very nice in that spacesuit right now.
Yeah. Let's try and duck in if I can and stay as flat as possible.
Okay. I'll tell you what, I'll give you some options, all right?
Okay.
So it's on agility. If you want to just sort of find a bit of cover, like a bit of quick cover, you can make an easy check. So you need to roll a 7 for full success. If you want a regular, you can go for a standard check. If you want to like really back in and give yourself the best chance, you can make a hard check where you need to get a 9.
Okay. I'm thinking that's not going to happen with my dice rolling, so I'm going to try for the standard. Let's see if I can get as much cover as possible.
Okie dokie.
Oh God, I've rolled a 1.
Oh.
So that's a 5.
Okay, you get into the you're panicking. You're hearing your breath going. You reach into the by the edge of the hole and try to pull yourself in. You can't. Your legs sort of gets a bit caught on the edge, and you sort of like the top half of your body's looking okay, but you're a bit worried about the bottom. Let me just roll because I've got to give myself a target now. Okay, for in a second. And as you're panicking, you're sort of you're tugging at your leg. You're trying to pull it in the best you can, but you just can't get out. You're terrified at this point. I need you to make a pressure roll, please. You're sort of starting to hyperventilate a bit here. Your pressure roll is your strength plus your education.
Okay.
And you add a 1d6, and you need to hit a 10.
Oh gosh, here we go. Okay, so I've rolled a 3 plus education is 5. 8 altogether.
8. Okay, your pressure, you'll need to mark it on your sheet, has gone up by 1. At 1, that's not a problem. When you hit 2, then things can start happening. You can start having meltdowns and things like that.
Okay.
But you're feeling it. Like when you hear your heart pumping in your ears. You're writhing around a bit. You're a bit stressed out right now.
Okay.
Liam, are you going to do any better? That's the question.
That is the question.
It is on agility.
Which isn't good.
It is an easy roll, though. It's a big old space. It's sliced. But yeah, you still got to roll well.
Yeah. Oh.
What's that? 6. Ah, you've hit it.
6.
Nice.
Sorry.
With the sudden grace of some kind of space ballerina, you sort of pirouette into the space, clutching out at the sides and pulling yourself like backwards, and just getting in. You're feeling pretty secure. It would take, judging from the angle they were coming from, you can't be 100% sure, but it's, while your heart has been beating very quickly, it still is, but you allow yourself a breath. Let's put it that way. Okay. The metal is incoming. It is upon you. Shay, any thoughts or ideas?
Other than desperately trying to tuck in my leg, yeah, I don't think there's anything else I can do other than try and stay under as much cover as possible.
Okie dokie. Nice. Right. And for you, Liam, anything you want to do in these last dying moments? Sorry, I should choose. I should choose my words better than that. Those are these last happy moments.
Any last words? Is
Any
what
last
he's saying.
words?
Liam will just close his eyes and probably try and cross his fingers. I'm assuming we've got big fat space gloves on that don't really let you, do any of that. But that's all I got.
It's at this point of that sort of 2 seconds of silence, you realise that neither of you have not noticed the whole time that Carla has been speaking in your ears the whole time. Fine space, fine. But you're so hyper, tense about what you're doing. It's only this moment you realise. And the last thing she says is, "Here it comes, hold tight." Shay, can you please roll me an agility roll?
Yep.
Oh,
Okay, that's a 3, so that's a 7.
Okay,
ooh,
7. That is good.
that's a bit better.
Okay, I'm going to make an opposed roll against you as the first bit of metal that comes. You sort of look to the side and glimpse at it. It is a beast. If this hits you, there's concerns. That's your leg, I think. If this one hits you.
Oh no. Okay.
Let's see. Okay, so you're tugging at your leg. The metal comes in. Oh, you're lucky. That's a 1. the metal shard, like you see it like shrieking towards you. It misses your leg by maybe about a meter, and sort of pings into the ship. But the angle it's come in, it doesn't pierce into the ship. It just sort of bounces off and sort of starts spinning, like spiraling away again into space. You've dodged a bullet. Let's put it that way. It's a good roll.
Yeah.
Sigh of relief.
So really, that is only 1. Liam, for you, there's nothing at this moment in time. You can just sit there and lie there and keep your eyes shut or whatever it was you were doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Shay, I'm going to need you to roll again. You look at something it's a lot smaller. There's a couple of like 50 centimetre sort of bits of metal that are coming in from, one's quite flat. That's less of a worry, but there's one that's coming much steeper. And
Okay.
this one is definitely more of a worry. Okay.
Oh gosh darn it. 6 altogether.
6 altogether.
Just rolled another 2.
Oh no!
Oh.
You need to keep them warm in your mitts. Okay. Right. Well, one of them that wasn't getting any bonus. The thinner one is a 5, so that's fine. That's fine. That was the one that was coming thin anyway.
Okay.
So again, that's missed you, but that was closer. That was about its own width away from you again. And this one, because it's thin, again, it sort of comes in and just like skims against the ship. He puts a dent in the ship, but nothing big, and then just sort of whooshes off into the vast expanse of space. The other one, however, is coming very steep, and it is close, and you can see it coming. And there's nowhere to squirm, right? You are a rabbit in the headlights. Please make an agility roll.
Gosh, I'm so tense.
Me too.
Oh, I got a 6.
Oh, that's better.
That's 10. That's 10 altogether.
Oh, God. You did well because that rolled a 5 and that had a +3 on given it. So that was an 8.
Oh gosh.
So you just managed to hoik your leg in, and what you find is this shard. Okay, it's only 50, but at this speed in this space with no friction, that is enough. Clangs down, screaming towards you, smashes into where your moving foot was, and crashes into the hull, piercing not deep, but piercing into the hole, stays there. It looks like it's caught your ankle in some way. It's not a physical injury, but you appear
Okay.
pinned in some regard. It's that
Oh.
bit, where you start checking, but but yes. Those are the two that I can see at the moment. But you are pinned right now.
Okay.
I'll roll Liam and then I'll come back to you. Okay.
Okay.
As for you, Liam, there is something coming, and it's about 1 meter, and it's the first one that's given you any risk. There's a chance you can see it. When you sort of clench your buttocks a little bit and squidge in a little bit. You know what I mean? Can you roll an agility for me, please?
Yeah, my favourites.
Oh no!
Uh-oh. That's 1 plus
1.
1, so it's a 2.
A 2.
Don't forget the other one.
No. Oh dear. Let me just check something on the thingy. Okay. This bit of metal, you can see it's spinning all the way. It's spinning. It's not just like straight. It's spinning, and it glistens. Weird last things cross your mind. I don't mean last things. I might mean last things. Weird things cross your mind.
Stop using the word last.
Yes. I know exactly what you mean.
What it's got writing on. That's the last thing you sort of notice of it before it's upon you, and you sort of squeeze yourself in a bit, and it pings and it catches your rope, fraying at your rope somewhat. Not cutting all the way through, but that rope is it creaks, and you feel it wobble a little bit, and you sort of it's sort of fraying your sort of your cable, and you got away with it there, but not totally. Let's put it that way. Especially with your agility rolls.
Yeah, we've got 2 cables though, right?
Because you do one to the other. Yeah, it's just
Yeah.
it'll just make your movement a lot
Risky.
a lot riskier. Yeah, you can't rely on that cable anymore. Let's put it that way. So yeah. So let me just write that down. Shay, hello. How you feeling?
Very tense.
Do you want to poke your head above the parapet, or are you gonna wait and see?
No, I'm too scared to even poke anything out of that.
Okay. You wait, and while you see, some more shards of metal pinging around, you hear some clanging. Well, you don't hear clanging, but you sense that sort of you can see them sort of pinging in and going off. There's nothing near you, and maybe for the first moment you allow yourself a slight breath. And then it appears to be over. There's a sort of a 15-second period when nothing else goes past you.
Okay.
And it's all still again.
Now I'll poke my head out. Have a look.
Okay. You slowly put your head out and look in the direction that they were coming from.
Yeah, just.
You look and there's nothing glinting that you can see. You can see a few more dents and dings in the top of the ship. It's not the newest ship anyway. It's had its fair share of battles, but you can see a few more. There appears to be a piece embedded a few meters away from you, a 70-80 centimeter piece, just sort of in quite tight. You've got the piece that's pinned your leg down, and that's all you can see. Even Carl has gone sort of quiet in your ear for a moment. It's just you alone on the top with your leg pinned and another bit of metal, and that's it.
Okay. Is there any way I can wiggle my leg free?
You can give it a try to wiggle if that's the way you'd like to go about things. Yeah,
I'll give it a wiggle.
Give it a wiggle. Okay. Do you want to do it with finesse or force?
Oh. Finesse?
Okie dokie. then roll an agility. This will be a hard pass.
Okay. That's a 5, 9.
Oh man,
Ooh.
that is good.
Nice.
You sort of wiggle at your leg, trying to get it to budge somewhat, and the metal you can see is moving. Although it's pinned you, it's not gone deep into the ship, thank goodness.
Okay.
And you're able to sort of, with some sort of tugging of your leg, you think you might be able to break free. It doesn't look, it doesn't look like you're stuck there forever, thank goodness.
Okay.
Okay, still on you.
Yeah, I'm just going to try and yank it out then, if I can.
You can. Roll a strength for me, please.
Uh-oh.
Your strength's all right.
Yeah, but I rolled a 1.
Oh.
That's a 4 altogether.
I think it's partly that clumsiness of 0G being in space. You can't get it out of there. It looks like it should come. You can't physically tug your leg out at this point as much as you're trying. It's frustrating. It just seems to be sort of through the trouser, through the suit leg somewhat. You just can't get it out.
Okay. Can I try and communicate with Liam?
You can. Your systems are working. Can you roll an education? These are new suits. These are new suits for you, and you want to sort of make sure you can get the microphone working properly. So roll an education.
Rolled a 3, so that's a 5.
Okay, Liam, could you roll on your education, please?
Yeah. Is this liaising?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Yeah, take a plus. That's a plus. This primary, so it's a +2.
Ooh, nice. I rolled a 1. +6 though.
Okay, so you've hit a 7, which is a partial success, which means that if Shay, as you're trying to speak through, it's getting through to Liam very crackly. Like every other word, every third word. A lot of static. Liam's skills allow him to pick it up somewhat, but even his responses aren't perfect. So it's a bit garbled between the two of you. But Liam can hear better than you can, from what you can make out, I guess. Okay. Feel free to communicate if you wish.
Okay. Can you hear me? Dotori, can you hear me?
Yeah. Kind of.
You okay? You okay down there?
I think so, and he, again pats himself down. Does that whole thing? Is it over?
I think so. I'm a little bit stuck up here. I've got my legs stuck between a metal shard and the ship.
I'll make my way up. Let's see
Okay.
if there's anything we can do
Okay.
together, two of us.
As you're sort of finishing that conversation, you hear a buzzing from Carla on the bridge. And she's, Liam, Shay, do you hear me? Either of you, over? Do you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Is that you, Shay? You're very faint and breaking up.
Yeah, there's nothing I can do. I'm a bit stuck here, I'm afraid.
There's, I've been able to sort of point the cameras, and on that sort of, on the side you were moving to, there is some of this stuff just jammed into the comms and the navigation. It's I hope it's fixable. Can you get there? Is there any way? Liam, Shay, can either of you get there?
I can't move at the moment. I'm waiting for Liam to come up and give me a hand.
Okay, I think I heard. Liam, can you do it quickly? Scanners show there's another shower of this stuff coming in within the hour.
I'll do my best. Yeah.
Okay, please do. It could be that a lot depends on it.
Can you keep an eye on the incoming?
Will do. I'll give
A
you
warning would be nice.
I'll give you regular reports. No problem.
Thanks.
Okay. As she flicks away, you can just sort of hear Eddie in the background trying to argue up something, and Carl sort of shushes him like a mum to a son on a phone call. And then there's sort of a cut off as they sort of go back to a private conversation, I guess.
But Eddie's been so helpful so far.
I know. He's the MVP of it.
Yeah.
Speaking of being so helpful, as Liam starts his long move round, which I think, judging by his state, there's going to be some serious rolling to do in a minute. Let's cut to someone else who's being helpful. Let's cut from the vast expanse to a tiny, widdy little duct. As we,
I feel we can do more flying debris in the vast expanse first. Okay, yes, duct.
As the camera zooms in from the right hand side, along it, round the corner, and into the sweaty face of Misha Renkov, on his hands and knees, poking along the walls.
Right. So presumably, while this is going on, I'm sort of listening to live commentary of what's happening outside.
Yes.
So clearly everything's going brilliantly. Okay, I have made it about halfway down this part of the duct and failed to find anything remotely interesting. So I am going to press on with my little torch and see if I can crawl a bit further down the duct and see if I can find anything broken down there.
Okie dokie. Oh, I get to move someone for the first time. It's very exciting. Right.
You always move me.
Oh, and you, me. So you were about halfway down that first bit. You move into sort of the final third. The corner of the duct is a mere sort of meter and a half ahead of you by this point. And,
okay.
There's another stretch that looks promising for a poke around.
Okay. Then I would like to have a quick examine and see if I can find anything broken, missing, wrong. I mean, if I encounter Shay's leg poking through, for example, then I'll obviously realise that that's potentially a problem.
Actually, going straight up, you're not too far off. Yeah. Okay, so that would be education, and I think you could probably argue engineering. I would imagine. I think that's what we have.
Okay, so I get the +2 for engineering. My education is 3.
Yep.
So that seems like a very healthy start. Let's give this a shot. And that's a 4. So what's that? A 9 total.
Okie dokie. Let's see. So you have a good look around. This is good. If there is something, you will see it. It's like
Excellent stuff.
It's like you've got a second wind. Do you know what I mean? You're suddenly very focused again after a wobble. Okay. You have a poke around. Suddenly very calm and sort of focused, and you can see that the connection is part where you've been poking is part of the connection to the comms that you're trying to sort out in there.
Okay.
But you can tell it's dead, but this is not where the problem point is. But there is a way you can sort of follow it around, if that makes sense. You've got a point that you can work from, if you know.
When you say follow it around, do you mean like around the corner?
Not a bad idea.
Well, you say that. Okay. We are pressing on then. We are going to press on and see if we can trace it further into this duct. Because clearly when encountering a duct, the most important thing to do is to keep going into it.
Exactly. As you're crawling down, you hear Evan buzz in your ear. Do you want to answer him?
Oh God, every fibre of my being says this is not what I want to hear. Yes, of course. Just in case he's about to say, I'm afraid I can't do that, Dave, or something. Yes. Yes, I want to I want to hear what Evan has to say for himself.
Renkov, you there? Can you hear me?
I'm here and I can hear you.
Have you had any fortune in your findings so far?
Yes.
Have you found the source of the problem?
No, the fortune I was referring to is I've made it 3/4 of the way down the duct without dying.
Humor doesn't flatter you, Misha Renkov. It's a very serious. We're in a very serious situation. My fears about the danger of the duct is I've been scanning the ducts as you've been down there. My fears are worsening. There's something in there through the navigation and we've run too many things down this one duct. It must be said. I've told the company before, but I'm just an android. They don't pay attention to me. Can you keep an eye out for that? Also, we are racing against time, and there's now a lot on your plate. Are you happy to search for this as well, or would you like me to come down and help you?
I definitely don't want you to come and help me. Under no circumstances. No, I need you to make sure that end of the duct stays secure.
Okay, I trust you and your skills. And sort of, if you do need anything else, just give your friendly Evan a shout. And he sort of chirps up from there.
Yeah, friendly working Evan. That's what we need.
Friendly worker with the glowing eyes.
Okay. So I'm going to press on to the corner and peer around and see if there's anything really dodgy looking. Mm-hmm. I'm now starting to worry that it may get to the point where there's so much jammed in here that I might accidentally disconnect something that needs to be connected.
With your knee as you sort of crawl past it. Yeah. As you peer around the corner, you see some very 80s sci-fi sparking coming from. I don't even know if it's scientifically possible, but it's a very 80s sparking coming from the wall, which your knowledge would suggest that's nothing to do with the comms and the problem you're looking for.
Okay. The sparking, is it arcing across the duct?
It's going. It's sort of 45 degrees down from about halfway up it into the floor.
The duct is largely made of metal, right?
Yeah. There's some wires shoved in, but there's a lot of coverings. Some wires are loose, but there's a lot of metal in there.
I mean, obviously metal conducts electricity, which doesn't worry me. The thing that worries me is so does Misha. Okay. All right. It's time to report in, first of all. I'm going to report to Evan.
Yeah.
First of all, Evan, what's your outer surface made out of?
That's a very personal question, Renkov. No one's ever asked me that before.
Well, I don't need to know the exact details. Broadly speaking, is it insulating or conductive?
I am not affected by sparks and electricity, if that's what you mean.
It is. I've encountered some special effects down here.
This sounds like something that a human is not so fortunate as Evan when it comes to dealing with.
You're right. I'm tempted to say that you should probably enter this same duct, but from the crew quarters at the other end.
And then I'm okay to do that. I will leave this. It sounds dangerous to open this end. I'll leave this end locked for the safety of the rest of the crew, of course, and the ship. And I shall come around and enter through the crew entry.
I think that's the right way to do it. Yes.
Okay. He cuts off, and of course you don't hear anything, but.
Okay, in that case, while he's making his move, I'm going to call Monroe.
Monroe here?
I'm most of the way through the duct between Long Sleep 2 and crew quarters, and I've encountered some fireworks down here, but I haven't found anything that needs that explains our current ship's failings, beyond the fact that a very small portion of the ship is technically on fire.
It's not
which,
the first time, Markov.
It isn't necessarily good, but apparently it isn't necessarily catastrophic. So I'm going to keep an eye on it for a second while Evan comes around and comes in through the duct entrance in the crew quarters. So we'll be kind of nose to nose as he works his way through. And with luck between us, we can work out what's broken and what isn't, and maybe even stop the thing being on fire. For the time being, I don't think there's much you can do to help. Can you make sure that you track? Can you check any navigation logs for other ships and things that have been sent in the area? Because it's beginning to occur to me that showers of rusty, jagged metal actually aren't very common in empty space, and therefore there's presumably some form of previous visitor to this system who either came to a bad end or left a booby trap for us. So if you could keep an eye on that stuff for me, do a little bit of research into the logs and find out if anyone's reported a flight plan and then not checked in at the other end, for example. And while you're doing that, if you've got a spare moment, could you just lean over and give Klassen a slap, please?
You hear a seriousness of Monroe break into sort of, when you can hear someone smile.
Yeah.
You briefly hear that as Klaus is like, "What's he say?" and then Monroe, you can hear Monroe smiling at that point, and she says, "Of course, I'll do everything that you need at this point. Hopefully, the guys outside can help me out if there's any markings or anything. But I will check around and see what ships have been through here in the last few months."
Thank you.
Okay. So at this point, you hear some banging in the front and sort of the whirring of a sort of a screwdriver, because Evan is old school. He doesn't just kick things open like Shay. He thinks he might need it again. So you hear him unscrewing it, and there's always a time for kicking things, I feel. And he unscrews it, and the next thing, as you look down that corner, 2 meters away, you see Evan's head poke through and turn and look at you, blank-faced, and then at the sparks between you, about halfway between you.
Okay, Evan, I hope you can see the problem here. Very small sections of this ship appear to be on fire at the moment, and you seem to be less susceptible to the damage that might cause. If there's any way you could make it stop being on fire, then I'll crawl a bit further down and help you look and trace the faults.
Evan nods, and he removes his cap, and he sort of removes his uniform top, and so he's sort of, as far as an android would be, he's bare chested. He sort of catches you look, and he's like, well, you know, I'm not so flammable, but uniforms are. And he sort of pushes them behind him and approaches the sparks, sort of checking out the floor as he goes. And he starts poking around that side of it. And oh, that's excellent. And very quickly, the sparks sort of sputter a bit less. The angle, drops off, and then it's gone. And he looks at you and says, problem solved.
Excellent. Good work, Naked Evan. Right.
Only half naked, Rankov.
For which we can all be profoundly grateful. So, I'm going to press on until I effectively get far enough around to see if I can trace that that link I found earlier.
Okay, you're the specialist. It's not like I was able to look into the problem here. I was just able to stop the sparks. And Evan backs away from you somewhat, out to the edge. He's the other side of the entry, but he hasn't locked it up again. I guess he's showing more interest now. He's not so concerned that the sparking stopped. He knows that there's no fire danger currently, so he's happy to keep that open for you.
Okay. All right. I want to examine as best I can the follow-on track. I'm looking in particular for any damage that has actually sort of dented or caused rupture or structural problems in the hull and caused any electrical follow-on, but also power surges, burnt out cables, anything that might be trackable as a potential failure.
Okay, can you roll your let's go education with engineering again, please.
Education with engineering. That's 3 + 2 is +5.
You are doing exactly what you were made to do. Let's put it that way.
I feel hiding in a duct with a half-naked android and wondering if he's smooth like a Ken doll actually isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. But hey,
we can always ask him.
Oh, that's another 4, so a 9.
9. Okay. As you sort of follow on from the bit that you'd sort of checked, and you move down, you do see that sort of scorched look of things that have blown out, like like your resistors and like fuses that have sort of blown from an overload or something going wrong. Obviously, like when something's hit on the outside, it's disrupted the route through and has blown them out. It's fixable, but not with what you've got to hand at the minute. But it does look, pull a few things out, screw a few things in. You've done harder. Let's put it that way.
Right. Do I know if the right kind of components I'm going to need are on the ship?
You can go and have a look. The ship is it's like an old war horse, it carries everything it needs to get fixed because it's gone through many years of breaking down and being put back together by people like you.
Right.
There's at least gaffer tape.
Yeah, the ship is mainly made of gaffer tape.
It is at this point.
Right. Just wondering. Looking at the plan of the ship, I'm actually having difficulty working out where the sort of engineering lockers would be.
All supplies are generally in the cargo bay.
Okay, fair enough. All right. I mean, I don't exactly have a parts list, do I? I'm looking for sort of some wire, a couple of resistors, some circuit breakers, a few surge protectors, sort of generic electrical stuff, right?
Yeah, do another check, and I'll tell you, how easy it's going to be for you to get the stuff.
All right. What kind of check am I after? This is education and
Education and
engineering.
engineering. Yeah.
Oh, I love these +5s. Let's keep doing those.
Yeah, we need to get you outside the ship. That's what we need.
That's a 7 total.
A 7 total. Okay, you get a good idea of what you'll need. You don't know enough to be certain, so it's the sort of thing where you probably have to grab a few extra bits just in case. A specialist toolkit, which will be in the back, some bits and pieces, some extra wiring, and so on. You reckon it'll take you? It'll probably take you about 10 minutes to sort of gather all the stuff that you need. You don't know the cargo bay. There's enough that you'll need to go to different bits, you reckon, to get it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right. Then I'm going to report into Monroe.
Yep.
And say, don't bother our couple of limpets on the outside with anything they don't need to worry about. But I found some damage and some surge burnout in the duct. I'm going to head off to the cargo bay to scavenge supplies from, by unpicking things like the life support system and what have you, and taking stuff out of that. And then I'm going to head back and plug them into the missing bits, and I'll update you as soon as I've got any more news.
Thank you. Yep. Please do. Just keep us posted. It's a race against time, of course. We've got about an hour. So please do what you can quickly.
Yep.
If you need help, Clarkson knows his way around the cargo bay pretty well. If you want some help finding things, you don't need him, of course, but it'd be quite nice to have him off my bridge.
Don't take this the wrong way, but I feel I'm kind of already babysitting Evan.
MacGyver.
You know what? By all means, send Clarkson to the cargo bay. He may be able to help me knock a few minutes off my search time. You never know. And if on the way out you could say something to him about being as useful as a chocolate teapot, I'd appreciate it.
You hear the smile again. Okay, it'll be my pleasure. I'll send him down now. She cuts off from there, and Eddie will indeed meet you. So I've just put on the Evan is watching you, but I don't know if I can move people while he's on. He's just there lurking, watching you at all times, Ben. He's always there. He's always there. He's always there when you need him and when you don't. Eddie will go down and he will meet you by the southern doors of the cargo bay. It's where you're closest to. So he's out there. And Evan, what did you want to do with Evan? Just drop him like
wait a second, because do I get any sense? Well, actually, I'll give her 30 seconds.
Yeah.
I will then send Evan to the cargo bay as well, please, ahead of me.
Yep.
And I'll say to Evan, don't worry, I'll come out and close up the hatch behind me before I join you. But if you could go and meet Clarkson in the cargo bay.
Mm-hmm. Okey-dokey.
And then as soon as they're there, can I open up a private channel with Monroe?
You can. And also, he has left his screwdriver for the bolts, of course, because he's leaving it for you to do. So that's there as well. Of course, you can open a private channel. Yeah, this is Monroe.
I take it you sent Clarkson on his way already?
Yeah, he should be walking down the main walkway at the moment.
Excellent. For our purposes, this is a private conversation then, because I've sent Evan on ahead as well. Here's something that just occurred to me. I don't believe for a second that Clarkson didn't want to go outside because it's egg work or he's afraid. He's a security person. I strongly believe he knew exactly what we were about to run into.
Monroe sort of pauses and sort of you can hear a bit of a sigh. Clarson's been with he's 18. He's been a very long time with Maitland Corporation. That's I'm not saying you're wrong, but that's a big statement.
Well, let's just bear it in mind. I'm not going to treat him any differently because of it. I'll walk up and give him the regular slap he deserves. Nothing more than that. But just bear in mind, I don't trust that man as far as I can comfortably spit out a Sam.
As long as you can do what we need to do to get going again and get back on mission, then personally, I don't think anyone cares whether people are best friends or enemies, as long as we can get through crunch together.
That is what I'm doing right now. I just wanted to let you know so that somebody else would know in case Clarson walks back in a few minutes and says unaccountably he committed suicide in the cargo bay.
Okie dokie. I'll take you off Clarson's Christmas card list.
Thank you. Okay. Right. And then I will follow down to the cargo bay, the direct route effectively, as soon as I've sealed up the hatch behind me, because it seems to matter to Evan.
Yeah.
And he'll scold me if I don't do that. I shall follow them down through the that one, the door they're clustered at.
Yep. Cool. And I will leave you there just as you hove into view of a grumpy looking Clarson and a naked torsoed Evan. And we'll cut back to the outside of the ship. Now the question is, you guys, do we want to cut straight to the ship, or would people like a 3-minute break?
I could actually use a brief break if that's okay.
Yeah. Should we do like a quick toilet drink break and that? So anyone watching, we'll take about 3-4 minutes, just a quick breather, and then we'll come back together for the second half of tonight. Thank you, everyone. Please hang around, and we'll see you all shortly. If I can get my intro. Where is it? There it is. Just turn this on. And welcome back to part 2 of Those Dark Places. Hello, thanks for joining us, Sparrow, and thanks for everyone who's still here or has joined during the first half. I'm not going to do a big intro. Basically, Misha was down a pipe, found out what the problem is, got Evan topless, heading off to Cargo Bay with Evan and a man he doesn't trust to get stuff to fix things. Having private messages with Munro. That's Misha. Liam and Shay outside ship, lots of metal, started peeing at them. Shay nearly died. Leg is pinned. Liam hid very well. One of his rope cable things is frayed, so it's going to be tougher for him to get around safely. He's now on his way over to rescue Shay. And then Munro's told them they've got probably about 50, we'll join back to them about 55 in-game minutes to get out of there before a whole load of metal comes that could potentially shred up the ship. And that is where we come back with, I guess the one that's got most movement to do is Liam. So I guess we should go back to Liam. What I'm going to do is on the map, I'm going to drop you two into the map so you can track where you are. But instead of being in this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn everyone else's off. So that we can imagine that you guys are outside of the ship, if that makes sense, where we are. Shay, you are on top of the ship about, I reckon you're probably about there by now when it comes up. And Liam, you are underneath the ship. You are underneath the ship about there. Okay, so if you can see it when it comes up on the map. So Shay will be on top of the ship. Liam is underneath the ship. Yes, so there we go. Let's go for Liam first. You got one good cable, one dodgy cable. What's your plan?
Okay, so I guess I will make my way up the side of the ship that is closest. The way it works, you clip one on, right, and then you clip the second one on, then you move along, and then you take one off and you clip it. Yeah, cool.
Yeah,
so
that's like the super safe way of doing it, I guess. Which, when you're dealing with the vast vacuum of space, super safe is always a good way.
Yes. Yeah. So I will continue to do that, and I'll continue to, sort of like monkey bar my way once they're both clipped on. Or, pull myself and just go as much as I can.
That is cool. What I'll do then is let's not make a roll for every 2 meters or something. Let's do a few checks on your way around, if that makes sense. Yeah. So what we'll do is, are you going the super safe way? So you're relying on both ropes, both cables?
Yes. Equally? Yeah. I'm gonna, wait till they're both attached.
Let's do one roll to get you to the edge of the ship at the bottom. Then we'll do another roll to flip up over to the side. One to get up to the top, and then one to get across to Shay, if that makes sense. So could you please, you're working on your strength, aren't you? You're literally yanking yourself along. So can you roll strength check, please?
That's 5 plus 3. It's 8.
Nice. You make your way to the bottom corner of the ship without too many problems. You're sort of checking back on the cable every now and again, and it is, it seems, not that you can hear it, but there's sort of a creakiness to it. A couple of fibers are sort of pinging off as you go. It's probably still about 4/10 useful at this point.
But it's getting worse.
But it's getting worse, yeah.
Okay. Could I tie a knot in it? I know it's still attached, but can I, whilst still having one on, can I disconnect it and like thread it through on itself and just try and join the two bits with?
You can. It's certainly something you can try. You're going to need agility for it, though.
Let's give it a go.
I love the way as soon as you say you're going to need agility, he just starts to laugh.
Yeah.
It's got an agility of 1, and a 7 is a partial. So
okay.
The best you can hope for is a partial fix.
That's another 5 plus 1.
Okay. You sort of dangle off that corner before pulling yourself off.
He's got +2 liaison though. He is trying to connect 2 cables.
Oh no! I feel I need to give him a -1 for that joke. It's your fault, Ben. It's your fault. You try it. You're fumbling around because one end's sort of connected to you, the other end you sort of unhooked. You're trying. You put a knot in it. Whether it's in the right place or not, it's hard to tell. Has it strengthened it? Has it not? Don't know. All you've achieved in doing is making it a bit shorter.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. That classic when you try and tie a knot in a specific place, like on top of another knot, and it ends up like halfway down.
A long way apart. Yeah, exactly. Pretty much like that, I would say. Okay, you are at the bottom corner.
Yeah. So up.
Yep. So can you roll a strength check, please?
Yeah. That's 4 + 3. It's 7.
Okay. So you hoik your way around. A 7 is a success, but it's partial, and it means for people watching, it means that sometimes something negative can happen through it, I guess. So as you pull yourself around pretty well, you've clipped in your good rope, you've got your arm around the edge, you've pulled yourself up quite well. As you pull yourself around, the weaker rope, which was caught around the corner, the knot that you've tied catches on the edge of the ship. As you pull it, you actually split more cables, and it's down to about a quarter left of its strength.
Okay.
Now you're on that side, you can see the panels that have got the damage, that the ones that need fixing. They're kind of near where it says crew on that side of the ship, and maybe a couple of meters in front of that, which would explain why the sparking off in the tube near Misha was, because it's not that far away.
Yes, cool. I will continue on.
Okay. Oh, Sparrow. Sorry, Evan is watching. Evan is watching you. I think it's suitable that Evan's here while we struggle on for a bit. Okay, Liam, give me another strength.
Ooh, that's a 6.
Oh, nice. You get the rhythm of it. Are you still doing it using both ropes? Are you still trying to be as safe as you can be?
Yeah.
Okay. So
while I've still got them.
So you pull yourself up using one at a time, not trusting that second rope as much, I guess now. Unsurprisingly.
Yeah.
And you do manage to pull yourself up the side. It's not too tall, I guess. And you get to the top corner. Looking at that rope, you've probably got. It's on its way out. Let's put it that way. There's a few cable threads left, but that's about it. As you get to that top corner, you peek over the top. You can see Shay. We can see Shay's leg. About
just my leg.
Just your leg. About 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. About 1, 2, 3, 4. About 5, 6 meters away.
I will head over. Oh. Wave and make my way over.
Cool. The wave is nice. Shay can't see it, but it's a lovely wave.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, the communication was broken. So.
Okie dokie. Make one more roll, please, on your strength.
That's a 4 + 3. It's a 7.
No. You do continue making your way across to Shay. About halfway, you are slowed because that cable, you sort of suddenly feel it looser than it should be. And you look down and you're left with half a cable. And the other half with the carabiners is still connected to the pipe a meter behind you. You're now relying on one single cable to keep you safe.
Okay.
And it will slow your movement down and make it more complicated. But you do make it across to Shay.
Cool.
The crackling in the radios loosens a little because you're very close to each other now. So even though Shay has problems using it at this distance, you can communicate.
Are you all right? You're not hurt?
No, I'm fine. I'm just stuck.
Oh. Okay. Got any plans? Do we just try and together?
Yeah. Is there any way you can pull it from the other side? the metal and I'll try and give it a shove from this side.
That makes sense. I'll keep on, I guess, as far away from the metal as I can. Don't want to lose my second rope, and then just get ready to give it a big tug.
Okay.
In which case, okay. So, Shay, are you helping in this process at all? Are you leaving it all to Liam?
No, I'll try and shove it from the other side if I can.
Okie dokie. In which case, let's do. I don't think it's totally in the rules, but I'm going to steal a rule from another kind of game and make a chain. Ben, you'd be so proud of me. A chain. So we're going to do. We're going to see if Shay's effort helps or hinders Liam. Let's put it that way. Okay. So, Shay, could you please roll on? Do you want to do it with your strength, or do you want to use it with your agility, sort of try and finesse the aim?
I'll try and finesse the aim a little bit.
Okay, roll on your agility, please.
Oh gosh, another one. That's a 5.
That's a 5. Okay, that means that Liam will be pulling at a -2, so he needs to hit a. He'll need to hit a 10 for it to work perfectly. I will give you. No, sorry, not 10. A 9 because it was a 7. It'll be a 9 for it to work perfectly. Okay, and I guess you're pulling on your strength.
Yeah. Yes, I will be. Right. That's 3 plus 3.
Okay, it does not work perfectly. It seems that like Shay's trying to finesse the angle, I guess, of her leg and sort of the shard in the pinning her down. He's going against Liam's. He's trying to tug it almost from like a different angle. They're sort of getting their counts wrong. Might be because of the communication. 1, 2, 3. Wait, are we pulling on 3? Or is it on the go? And there's that sort of there's a slight fumbling as you can do it, and it takes a lot more than you think it would. Liam finally manages to hoik it out of the leg. Well, not not the leg sleeve. What's the name for a leg sleeve? The trouser leg, like the leg of it, and it's like a leg sleeve. That's what I would call it. If I was making a language, I'd call it a leg sleeve. Whatever that is.
Part of a suit.
Part of the suit, yeah, the leg sleeve of the suit. And of course, once it's out, it comes away almost too easily. Almost sending you backwards with it in your hands. Immediately in Shay's eye line in the suits, there is a flashing red, and on her oxygen level.
Uh-oh.
Oh.
I'm running out of oxygen here.
Can I can see a hole, right?
It's very minuscule. It's that sort of, and but I guess in space, even the tiniest little thing will cause something. You've got probably an hour and a half of oxygen left, Liam, for out, which was plenty of time. Shay, from your hour and a half, you're already seeing it's down to an hour 22.
Okay.
Yes. It seems to be going down for every. You're losing sort of 2 minutes for every one, if that makes sense at this moment in time, I guess. After an initial psh, so 2 minutes for every one.
Okay. We need to move fast.
Yeah. Let's. Which way are we going? I saw the metal on the way up, right, Luke? Sorry, out again.
You did, yes. Like I say, it's probably 3 meters to the left of where it says crew. There was a couple of panels near each other that looked like they'd been sort of stabbed into.
Then also in game, I saw the metal on the way up. As he gestures over in that general direction.
Right. Okay.
I guess we head over.
Yeah. No time like the present.
Yeah. I've got no safe option. I'm down to one clip. But if you can get there quicker, and I'll join and start helping, I guess.
Okay.
I'll move as quick as I can.
Yeah. Okay. Do we not have even any spare ropes or anything?
No, well,
Nothing.
the second one is the spare. I guess it's sort of a fail-safe. It's you can still move on one. It's just you've got to be, if you want to be super safe, you've got to be super careful, I guess.
Okay.
I'll give each of you choice for movement. Okay, you can go on an easy roll is a slow movement. On a sort of a medium roll is sort of regular movement, and if you want to move quick, you need to make sort of the big roll, if that makes sense. And we'll do a couple to get down to the damage. Shay, what's your plan?
I'm very conscious of the fact that my oxygen's running out a lot quicker. So I'm going to try medium, I think. Try and move at a fairly brisk, but not still being careful,
Yeah. Okie dokie. Can you roll agility, please?
Yep, that's a 7.
Okay. 7 total?
Yeah.
Okay. So you succeed in your speed. You're sort of, although you've been shaken, of course, you've still done this in training many times before, and you work your way across at a good clip, getting towards the edge. Well, actually, very well. But because of that, because of the sense of moving again, your breathing is increasing, and
Okay.
as part of that, your oxygen is now down to 110 from 122. So it definitely didn't take 12 minutes to get there, but you are down to 110.
Okay.
Liam, what sort of pace are you looking at going?
I will try and keep pace, at least for the first.
Okie dokie.
At least for the first section, and see what happens. We are on a time limit now of both incoming debris and
then,
oxygen.
Liam, I need you to first of all make a strength roll to see if you can move across in the monkey-like way that you're doing.
Ooh, that's a 6 plus 9.
6 plus 9.
Sorry, 6 plus 3 is 9.
It is like, yeah. Liam is excellent at moving and also makes it across. A would do. However, along the way, in that sort of speed of clipping and unclipping, I need you to make I'm going to make you make an opposed roll against me. I guess look at me as a metal pole. I want to see if
I always do.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. And I want you to roll your agility. There's a point along the way where you're rushing a bit too much, and so maybe one of your clips is you're not really looking at it as you do it, and so I need you to make a roll, please, with agility.
Okay. That is a 4 plus 1.
You are okay. It's a 2.
Oof.
It's a rush, but you sort of feel it for a minute. It slides across the metal, and then at the last minute, it sort of clicks in, just as you're sort of pushing off. So you're okay at this point. Okay, you've both reached the corner. Looking down, you can see that indeed there is a couple of panels, all sort of dented and dinked, a few meters to the front of where it says crew.
Perfect.
Okay. Shall we try and open it up, see what we're looking at?
Yeah. Variable. What was it? Laser torches, space laser torches. That's the one.
Yes. If you can each make I need you each to make a roll to get alongside the two. Like I said, they're close together. You can sort of.
Okay.
But I need you one more to get there. Shay, agility for me, please.
Oh, that's an 8.
You are fine, and you don't notice any difference in your oxygen. Doesn't. It's like you've forcibly like slowed down your breathing, and you make it over there very nicely, actually. So you are not a problem at all. Liam, are you doing the same sort of thing as before?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is a 3 + 3 is 6.
Right, make an opposed roll for me, please. That was you're rushing too much, Liam, for a man with one cable.
Yeah, is this agility?
Okay.
Oh, that's a 6 + 1.
Oh, that's fine. I can't beat it anyway. I only rolled a 1, so you're okay. You're sort of. Oh, well done, Ben. Thanks for resubscribing. I better send you the zine then when we're done. It's like Liam is like a cat at the moment. He's like a cat with 9 lives. Every time he thinks he's missed the clip, it sort of falls in.
Nice.
But you are now both. There's 2 main panels. They're next to each other, which explains why when they got hit, they both got hit. Yeah, you're there. You can see there's metal sticking out, but unless you want to know more, that's all you can see.
Okay. We need to cut the metal off, right? Get the metal out.
So what you've got is because they're access panels, they've each got they've got 4 big screws in the corner. Okay. Which would be a way in and out. The metal on one of them. So the one that you are next to, Liam, you are next to the comms. Okay. And the comms one, let me just write that down so I don't forget. The metal is through the panel. It's pierced it. It's deeply and it looks sharp. It's like a long, nasty shard that's deep in there. That's clearly cut through whatever's underneath it. As for you, Shay, you're next to the navigation, and what you've got is a much fatter, flatter bit that sort of it's hit hard. It's sort of dented the case, buckled it in, and it's sort of got caught in the buckling as opposed to piercing it.
Okay.
It doesn't look like it's pierced, but it's sort of the buckling has wrapped around it a bit. The screws look sort of distorted and sort of much more awkward. The other one's cleaner but sharper. Yours is sort of dirtier and bucklier, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And I'll leave you two to work it out as a team, I guess. Just tell me what you want to do.
Right.
I'll make you roll.
I suppose we've got to try and get them open, haven't we? So, should we try them one at a time?
Yeah.
Rather than having multiple bits everywhere.
Yeah, that makes sense. Well, can do yours. Let's yours first.